Joker 2. Let's go! Gotta show up early. A little bit too early, but... God damn it. So I just got back from watching Joker 2. And the reason I'm calling it Joker 2 is because I'm not even going to attempt to embarrass myself by pronouncing that title. But we all know what I'm talking about. So, as I was saying, I've just got back from watching Joker 2. So I want to start off by talking about the casting, because this cast is a bit unusual. You have Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, which threw some people off. A lot of people kind of already cast their thoughts on her before she was even seen in the trailer. A lot of people writ her off already, and I actually think she was stellar. Yeah, I mean that. Harley Quinn in this film, Lady Gaga, she was so much fun to watch, and she was one of the best parts of this film. Her and Joker, when they share scenes together, were the point of this film where I was like, this is it. This is what everything should have been in this movie. And yeah, I had so much fun watching Lady Gaga's performance. I think it was a lot more reserved than the Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, played by Margot Robbie. And that was always going to be a hard thing to follow. You know, that performance by Margot Robbie was always going to be a hard one to top. And I don't necessarily think she does top it, but she definitely does do it justice. She goes in and she gives it her best. I think Lady Gaga in this made me want to learn more about her, Harley Quinn. It made me want to watch her in another movie. And Joaquin Phoenix has not lost a single beat. I mean that, hand on heart. Whether he's playing Arthur or the Joker, he has not lost a single one. He's still just as good as in the original. He is unhinged. He is creepy. He is funny. He's kind of likable in that disturbed way. You know, you do feel sorry for the guy. And I'm not sure if they used prosthetics or he got his body into the same kind of shape as last time, but again, his shoulders look so deformed in this. There's no other word for it. All the other new additions to the cast as well, like the security guards in Arkham Asylum and the other inmates, I thought they were all really well done. I don't think none of them really stood out as anything, you know, super special, but they had some complexity to some of the characters and they added a bit to the story, which I enjoyed, and I thought they were quite good. As for this film in general, though, this is nowhere near on the level as the first Joker film. That film, to me, is and always will be a masterpiece. I fell in love with that film so much, and I don't even think it's the definitive Joker film. You know, it's not really the Joker, clown prince of crime, as we know him. It's Arthur Fleck as the Joker, and as a self-contained film, that film is phenomenal. And when I heard they were doing a sequel, I was ecstatic. I thought, yes, we can really dive into his psyche in Arkham Asylum. We can do something really good with this. And then I heard it's a musical, and I thought, fuck, they're gonna ruin this. And then I heard of Lady Gaga, and I thought, okay, great, it's a musical with Lady Gaga in. And as I've already said, she was one of the best parts of this film for me. I adored seeing her on screen, and I kind of hope that we get a standalone Harley Quinn film now, based on this version of Harley Quinn with Lady Gaga, because there's a lot they can do with that character. But this is a spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to dive into specifics. But yeah, I hope to see her again in some form. As for the rest of the film, as I was saying, it's definitely not on the level as Joker 1. I kind of had a review score in my head going through this, and towards, I'd say for the last 40 minutes, the film kind of flatlines for me. It definitely loses some of the momentum and steam it was building up. It goes in a direction I didn't really care for. And I've got to say, by the end, I kind of think they should have chopped maybe half an hour off this film. It did feel a little bit too long. It did drag a little bit. For the music part of this film, I actually really enjoyed it. I did not think I would. And yeah, the songs, I can remember a few off the top of my head, but a lot of them are kind of forgettable songs. However, the way they incorporate them into the film and the way they're performed, again, don't want to go into spoilers here, but the way they're performed, I think was fantastic. And I think, yeah, it did add a little bit to the film, actually. For me, it wasn't just a gimmick. It felt, I wouldn't say natural, because it does take some getting used to. It was a bit jarring at first, but yeah, it does add something to the film, and I think it was a good, stylish choice. You know, this is definitely kind of an arty indie film, and actually didn't mind it going in this direction. It's very different and it's very unique. It's different to anything I've ever seen, I can say that. And it's definitely its own thing, 100%. And it does carry on the story of Archer Fleck in an interesting way, and I was loving seeing how the story progressed. The cinematography, once again, fantastic. It's not as in your face as the first one was, and by that I mean it's not as good really, but it's a lot more subtle shots. Like, everyone's seen the trailers, so this isn't really a spoiler. So the shot where Harley Quinn draws the smiley face on the glass while she's visiting Arthur Fleck, and he puts his face into line with the smile she draws, and then he smiles, and it creates the Joker smile. That's fantastic. Stuff like that in this film really do stand out, and they're beautifully shot. The overall cinematography is gorgeous in this film. Quite a lot of long wide shots, gorgeous. I think this will make an excellent addition to my 4K collection when it comes out. And yes, I will be buying this on 4K. Kind of went back and forth on whether I actually even like the film on the way home, but overall, I do think I enjoyed this film more than I disliked it. There are definitely problems with it. As I say, the pacing is a bit off. Definitely should have been a bit shorter. Some of the story directions I wasn't a massive fan of. Again, I have a lot of different ways they could have done it, but I don't want to just put all my thoughts into it. I want to review what they actually gave me, and what they gave me was pretty solid. However, I do think they dropped the ball on a few things. That can't be pushed to the side. It does hinder the experience for me personally. And for the person I went with, they also agreed with me. I definitely think as well, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think that Harley Quinn should have been in this film more. She's not in it as much as some people would think. She is in this film constantly, but I think there needed to be more Harley and Joker. Them two were the best part of this film, and when they're together, it's for me, it was the best part of the film. I also don't think they dove into his psyche. As I was saying earlier, I was looking forward to seeing his psyche really explored in this film. I don't think they did that enough. They definitely do ask some good questions and they do dive into it like it is there. But I don't know. I just expected more because it's a sequel. I expected them to really go deep into it, and I kind of got more from the first one. I do not think this film is going to do well. There was so many showings today in the cinema that I went to, so maybe that's why. But the cinema I went, kind of around a prime-ish time, I guess. It was basically 7 o'clock. I went. The cinema was basically empty. Quite a few people did go for the showing before at 6:30 though, so maybe that's why. But yeah, this cinema was empty. There was me and my friend. There was about 4 people in front of us, 2 people at the back, another 2 people, 3 people, and another 2 people. And the bad thing is, the 4 people that were in front of us, halfway through the film, they stood up and they left. Like, they just flat out left, and them say this was a load of crap, and they left. They just followed and left. And the 2 people that were in the corner on the other side of the room, they stood up halfway through. I'd say about 5 minutes before them, put the jackets on, and they left as well. So that's 6 people left this cinema, and I've never seen anybody walk out of the cinema before. And you could tell they were walking out because of the film, because they were all putting faces. And even when the film ended, the people behind us seemed very happy. I was very mixed. My friend was very mixed. The people in front seemed very neutral. And the other 2, the guy that was with, he was a man and his wife by the look of it. He gave me a look, shook his head, and looked so disappointed and angry with the film. I felt really bad for the guy. So yeah, I can see this film doing really bad. It's definitely not as bad as the critics are building it up to be. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not terrible. It's enjoyable. It's watchable. It's still a lot of fun, but it's definitely not on the hype level that Joker 1 was. And pretty much, I don't think they need to do any more Joker films. Definitely want to see a Harley Quinn film though. It did get me interested so much into Harley Quinn, and they could dive so much into it. Again, when you watch the film, you will understand what I mean. But yeah, that's all my thoughts for now. So, and if I was to give this film a rating, I would say it is a 3 out of 5. I wanted to give this film a 4. Pretty much for the whole film, I had 4 out of 5 in my head until the last 40 minutes where it fell off for me, and then it did go down to a 3. So yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.